Hello, thank you, and welcome to Test Automation Day Online. My name is Larry Ho, and I'm part of the marketing team here at Sauce Labs. I've been with Sauce for over 5 years. I'm working on digital marketing, growth marketing, and now product marketing. So there's a high likelihood that you have interacted or have received some sort of communications that I've worked on. So now you can associate a name to a face. So before we jump into today's session, I wanted to set the background, starting with this slide. The customer experience has gone fully digital. If you think about your day-to-day, how often are you interacting with the business digitally? Personally, for me, last year I became a father, and I heavily rely on a white noise that has an app called Hatch, along with a baby monitoring system, Nanit. And those are my day-to-day, every night, monitoring and watching my baby. So businesses are going through a digital transformation. Whether that's adopting or replacing digital technologies or moving to digital processes, businesses are changing. And if every business is now a digital business, the app is now the core value proposition. The app is the storefront of the 21st century. And if you think about it, you're able to perform a lot of things digitally. For example, in finance, there's digital transactions occurring all the time. Users are sending money to each other through apps like Venmo, PayPal, or Square. They're depositing checks with their phones, paying bills online. You can set appointments and schedule with doctors. Meetings with those physicians happen through the lens of a camera, right? You could be behind your computer, you could be on your phone. And in media, you can watch shows from anywhere at any time. Your living room or wherever you choose to watch is the new theater, right? With access to the latest releases. If anyone here has HBO Max or Disney Plus, you know that the day that Wonder Woman came out, you had access to it the same day it hit the movies. There was Mulan that was released, and next month, I don't know if anyone's excited, but Godzilla versus Kong is out. And then recently, Uber announced the acquisition of Drizzly, an alcohol delivery service. And sometime in the future, you'll be able to get a bottle of wine or a case of beer delivered, the same way you would be able to request a car or get food delivered. So all these brands clearly recognize that the app is now the value proposition and that digital experiences can make or break a brand. This was true before the current pandemic, and it will continue to be the case long after it. But knowing you need to grow your business is one thing. Actually doing it is another matter, and the most organizations still have a long way to go. So how can they get there? Having a website or a mobile application isn't enough. Customers expect more, and they expect the experience of interacting with your applications to be nothing short of flawless. Personally, for me, if I have a bad experience with an app, I'm turning away and taking my business elsewhere. And I'm sure as most of you would. So how do you make that happen? What's the difference between companies that are building a thriving digital business versus those are struggling to find their footing? The answer is digital confidence. So what is digital confidence and what does it mean to have it? It means knowing that you are creating and delivering the best possible experience to your customers. It means knowing that your web and mobile applications look, function, and perform exactly as intended before your customers ever interact with them. And most importantly, it means knowing that your customers have no doubt that your web and application will work flawlessly every time they use them. So digital confidence is knowing they're delivering a user experience that's every good as their customers expect. So let's talk specifically about how Sauce Labs can help achieve this. Our mission at Sauce Labs is simple. We want to create a world of digital confidence. We want businesses to have complete confidence that their digital applications will work flawlessly every single time they're used. And we want their customers to share in that confidence. In order to achieve digital confidence and deliver a flawless digital experience, you also need to change the way you develop and test your software. The legacy approach to testing, in which testing is conducted by a QA team at the end of the development process, is simply not viable or efficient. It provides neither the speed nor efficiency you need to confidently deliver digital applications to your customers. While slow, unreliable testing can grind your business to a halt, fast, reliable, always-on testing can take it from good to great. That's why it's more critical than ever to implement testing continuously throughout the entire development process. At Sauce Labs, we call this continuous testing, and we're proud to offer the most comprehensive and trusted continuous testing cloud in the world. So let's talk about some things that sets it apart from other platforms. So Sauce Labs has made a name for itself in the development market by offering the most scalable and comprehensive test infrastructure in the industry. The Sauce Labs continuous testing cloud spans desktop, browsers, and operating systems, mobile emulators and simulators, and real devices, along with headless browsers for early pipeline testing, providing the depth and breadth of test coverage that you need. But it's not just about having great testing infrastructure to run your tests. You also need to find and fix your failures fast. So we offer the productivity tools your development team needs to be as productive as possible, from test analytics to videos and screenshots to extended debugging tools and to live testing environments so you can recreate any user errors in any environment. And last but definitely not least, it's the only continuous testing platform that delivers a 360-degree view of your customer's application experience. Just having an app and knowing that it functions isn't enough. You need to be able to be fully confident that you're able to deliver a great user experience. That's why we built our foundation as the leaders in functional test automation to now offer front-end performance testing and visual testing as well. And we surround it all with the enterprise level and security and support you need to manage risk and ensure you get the most value from your investment. So I want to take a step back and revisit what I mentioned earlier on digital confidence. Having digital confidence means knowing that your app looks, functions, and performs the way your customers expect. As a piece to digital confidence, visual testing is how you ensure your app appears to users as intended, confirming that it looks right. While functional testing is great at verifying the app behaves correctly, there are things that it will not catch and continue to pass. And before we dive into that, I want to take a look at the components that make up a test. There are 4 pieces. There's the app under test, there's the test scripts to run the test, and there's the platform to test against. And then there's the reporting of the test results, so analytics, insights. So I want to dig deeper into test scripts, and there are 2 things that it consists of. There's the actions that drive the test scenarios to get the UI into a specific state to test, and assertions to check the actual results with what's expected. With assertions, it's only testing what's been explicitly asserted. But what if data, such as the item description here, is missing from the page? The functional tests will pass. And what if images are broken? The functional tests will still pass. And last, if the style doesn't load, the functional test again will continue to pass. With the visual snapshot, you are able to capture these issues during your tests and provide the feedback you need to your teams to get these fixed and prevent it from reaching production. And if you recall earlier, the app is the storefront of the 21st century. And I would like you to consider the UI being the window into that entire application. If it's broken in any way, then the app will appear broken from the perspective of the end user. A broken user experience impacts brand, customer trust, retention, and ultimately revenue. So how do we catch these issues? With visual, of course. So as you just saw, functional UI testing isn't enough. As long as the behavior works, the test will pass. It's not paying attention to missing or broken items. This is where visual testing can help. Any visual changes to the layout, to content, to structure, or styles would be flagged for review. Our visual testing solution, Sauce Visual, was created for teams to perform visual testing throughout the software lifecycle, for testing early on in development or at the later stages. There are 2 different sets of capabilities available for Sauce Visual. We have visual component, and that's for testing early on in development on individual components. There are 2 ways to use visual components. If you are a Storybook user and you're building components in isolations, we have an integration with Storybook for automated visual testings of components built in React, Vue, or Angular. If you aren't using Storybook, we have a runner tool that's available for your component library. And then the other is we have visual end-to-end. And that's for testing later on in the development process. It integrates into existing WebDriver tests to perform automated visual testing across different browsers and resolutions. These are some of the benefits that's seen with visual. It reduces the time spent writing and maintaining scripts. A single visual snapshots can cover hundreds of assertions, ultimately simplifying UI testing. It tests both the functional and visual aspects of the UI, simplifying automation while increasing coverage. It also runs tests in parallel for fast executions across multiple browsers. And as you know, automated visual testing speeds up release cycles, so it accelerates release velocity. And visual regressions are caught before it reaches production, which is an improvement to visual quality.